Yes, watching West Ham Network. Hope you are all safe and well, my friends. David Moyes and Angelo Ogbonna have just finished their press conference ahead of the game against Olympiacos tomorrow evening, 8 p.m. kick-off in the Europa League. As always with the Europa League press conferences, it's the first team player and also the manager. And so let's crack on and see what Moisey had to say. Should we start with Moisey now? Let's start with Ogbonna. Where's Ogbonna? There it is. Let's start with what Ogbonna has to say. Again, it was actually quite a long press conference, really. It was late again, as per usual. But in terms of what Moyes said, in terms of what Ogbonna said, so asked about Europe and enjoying his run in Europe, he said, we're enjoying our time in Europe. It's very good for the club. Unfortunately, our run came to an end against Olympiacos, but we're still at the top of our group, and we're looking forward to the game. Asked about Europa League in general, because every competition is very important. We're not just looking at one competition, we're playing in one of the toughest leagues in the world, but we're looking at things game by game, and we look at things by individual game. Obviously, in terms of Ogbonna himself, not the best run of form in terms of Europe. Two games, two mistakes so far. And obviously, he's been at the club for a long time. He was asked a question about the changes he's seen at West Ham during his time at the club, which will probably come to an end this season when his contract extension finishes. And he goes, I think there's been a massive change in this club in my time here across the board, and every department has improved. Playing for the third successive season in Europe is massive, and it affects everyone. Tomorrow will be a very important game, and it will be a very important game. And top of the table clash, should be top of the game clash. Really, in all honesty, Freiburg, I think it's between Olympiacos and us in terms of Olympiacos, and us in terms of who goes up. I still think Freiburg could throw themselves a curveball. Obviously, they have to play both of us as well. They play TSC tomorrow as well. So see, the result of that game will affect how everything else works. But obviously, we do need to bounce back from that game against Olympiacos, which was appalling. And also the Brentford game as well, and the Everton game. The Arsenal game in between, but still. After that, he goes, hopefully we'll try to get best to bounce back from the defeat of Brentford, who want to play well and perform in every game. And every game is different. And it is. Every game is different, my friend. Good old Ogbonna. Asked about Olympiacos specifically, this is what he said. He said, I think they have some very passionate fans, and it's something we really saw over there. For now, we're focused on tomorrow. We need to play our game and focus on the 3 points. To be fair, we had a bad game over there. We want to focus on our game, and we didn't play and perform the way we want to perform. We respect them, of course, and for them, it's an important win in the away leg, but we're focusing on what we need to do. And in all honesty, I think looking at that game, I rewatched it, we looked like we froze under the opposition, just under the weight of the atmosphere. And Moyes picked up on it in his bits of the press conference. But in terms of the initial team news, over to the manager, one of the major question marks is Kurt Zouma, and he says we're still waiting a little bit on Kurt. He's not trained, but he did a little bit inside. We'll have a look at him tomorrow and see how it is. And then in terms of squad rotation, he said we don't just play 11 players anymore. Really? Back to Obama. We've all got squads of players we use, and have to accept that part of basketball football. We have to change our squads and keep our players fit and available. We have to. Take heed, Mr. Moyes, of what you've just said, my friend. Take heed indeed. There we go. We have to rotate, says Mr. Moyes. Asked about Olympiacos specifically, he had a lot to say. They're a very experienced team. We have played a lot in the UK. I watched them play against Arsenal a couple of years ago. We're up against a good team. Our group is probably the toughest group we've had in 3 years, so we'll have to play well. Obviously, Moyes played against Olympiacos for Man United. This is a difference then. It was a two-leg tie, whereas now this is within a group stage. I think we're in a pretty good position in the group stages, and we've done well in the group stages in recent years, but we have to show we can win the game, and I'm sure we can. There were different challenges in Olympiacos. Out there, their crowd was phenomenal and they played a huge part on the day. Also on the day we didn't play well, nowhere near our standards. So we want to be closer to our usual best tomorrow night. If we win tomorrow night, we're in a good place and we want to get the wins to qualify and be in Europe after Christmas. He has this fascination about playing Europe after Christmas because it means you're obviously qualified. He added more about Olympiacos. I don't think I learned anything I didn't know about them from last week. They've got some really talented players and about the atmosphere too. We're up against one of the best teams we've played in Europe, and I've got to say we're going to have an incredible crowd. So I'll give Olympiacos the chance to see us in good form and our home fans at their best too. So there we go. Atmospheres. There are some brilliant stadiums in the UK when they're rocking, but I think we all enjoyed the atmosphere in Olympiacos. We have some good things going on the Premier League, but I generally think if we go and watch games in Europe, the atmosphere can hit other levels, and we need to have a strong atmosphere. We need to have a strong atmosphere. We need a strong performance on the pitch. And one person who did that to us is Jared Bowen. He was asked about Bowen specifically, and he said he's happy to play in any position we put him. We've moved players before, and in the early days, Jared had played as a centre forward for Hull City. He scored another goal at the weekend, and we needed that. And then he was finally asked about JWP. I think he set himself great standards for himself early doors. I hope he can continue to get the assists and goals and keeps it going. And that was it. So, Moyes has basically said that Bowen's playing up front tomorrow, to be honest, and JWP's probably playing as well, but Kurt Zuma's not. But anyway, keep an eye on the channel. We'll bring you all the latest news as we can. And until then, take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith. Come on, you bloody Irons.